the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And folks, 100 years ago or so, drafted by the Buffalo Bills on this, well, back then it was one day.
12 rounds.
NFL draft. Dale Hellestrae, everybody.
Good morning, Steven. You seem like you're a little chipper this morning.
I'm exhausted, Dale. We got a long day ahead of us.
We do. Well, did you bring those blow-up mattresses so you can take a little nap?
Going home.
You're going home?
For a couple hours. Just for a couple hours, I think, later on. Yeah.
Right.
We got the extra. We got another microphone we got to set up. I've got the 30 top draft picks graphics done. I just need to do like 5 more or so. And then after that, if you get picked ahead of, if you're not a top 35 player and you get picked in the first round, we're just going to clap for you. Say congratulations, you're drafted higher than expected.
Are you doing a Ty Simpson?
I did do a Ty Simpson.
You did? You're going to do a Ty Simpson. Well, it just seems a little cheerier around here today.
I did do, my favorite thing I did was I went ahead and just put the Arizona Cardinals logo on Jeremiah Love.
Yeah?
So if he doesn't get drafted by him, we're going to look stupid, but I did it.
We will make sure that everybody knows you did that, but let's get to the
No, I want to avoid this subject. No, we're up on all of our sites today. We've looked at them.
Yeah.
We're up on every site. We are ready. Draft show tonight. Look at that. Even the sound's coming up here and everything. Computer sound's working.
Okay.
Dale, tonight, 4:30, 4:45, we're going to be up. YouTube, TME Media AZ, Robad TV. We're going to be live draft show. Me, Bruce Cooper, bringing his Emmys in. They're going to shine all over the table.
I can bring my Super Bowl trophy.
Super Bowl trophies coming in from Dale on top of it. And I'm just going to come in with probably an oversized baggy shirt. Maybe
You're not going to put on a coat and tie for first-round draft
maybe
night?
Maybe some holes in my I haven't decided. I think I'm going to wear a button-down shirt, but I'm not going to do a tie.
I think it's only appropriate.
I'll do a button-down shirt.
The first day of the rest of the Arizona Cardinals football history.
Which player will be out this team in 2 years is the big question after today as well. Done a ton of research, Dale. I'm ready to go. I even know the 29th best-ranked guy, his stats, his weights. It's going to be beautiful.
Let me tell you the one thing that I do not want to hear anymore today is the fact that it's a waste to take Jeremiah Love because this year the Cardinals aren't being any good, but maybe next year they should be good. Well, guess what?
Yeah, plan ahead.
If you draft him tonight, then he will be on your team for the next 4 years, and if he turns out to be all that in a bag of nuts, he'll be with you all 5 years.
Yes.
And if you're not good by then, which again I wouldn't put any money on it, but if you're not good by then, it's still a good draft pick.
It's a good draft pick. Good draft pick. I know, I agree. Bruce Cooper's at home right now putting his finishing touches on his draft stuff, folks. He's been watching film all week. He's ready to go.
He's going to come in. He's going to go, I've changed my mind. They need to take an offensive lineman. The guy with the bad back from Miami.
I'll tell you this. A lot of mock drafts have a lot of those offensive linemen that were in the top 10, down like mid-20s right now.
And again,
not just the Miami kid, but other guys.
It's another thing
as well.
It's another thing that makes me just shake my head. It's like they haven't played a football game.
I know. Well, but it's also what positions are of need and all of that.
But you knew that 3 months ago.
I know.
I know free agency changed a couple teams.
I did see a blurb last night though on Ty Simpson because we were the first to bring this up. Nobody else is talking about Ty Simpson except for the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
I'm pretty sure if the Cardinals don't draft him, he might be an undrafted free agent.
Ooh.
Well, that's sarcasm. But nobody's talking about the kid except for the Cardinals. Nobody.
Where did I read? Somebody might take him late first, but.
Oh, did you see that? I didn't see.
I was on
all these sites yesterday. I was on PFF and all these sites, just reading like the updates and everything, and it's literally like Arizona Cardinals or nobody. Which does harken me back to the Kyler Murray draft. Remember that? People were like, Kyler Murray's not a number one draft pick.
No.
But unless you're the Cardinals, because of the history with the coach and stuff like that. And Ty Simpson, to me, feels like that. He's not a first-round draft pick. He's not a guy you build your team around. Unless you're the Cardinals. How well did the Cardinals?
So you're going to tell me if they walk away, well, I don't think yeah, they can.
Yeah,
but if they walk away tonight, when you turn the lights off and you go to get in your car and they have Jeremiah Love and Ty Simpson, is it a good night for the Cardinals?
I think that's a good night for the Cardinals. I don't know how to read the Ty Simpson. I said that earlier. I don't know how I feel about it. Because you're literally saying we got our quarterback of the future if you get him in the first round.
I'm just not sure if you need to move back into the first round.
I wouldn't do that.
To get him.
If you trade 3, like I said, if you trade 3 and get 2 draft picks, fine, take him with that second one. No problem with that. But if you're sitting there, you take Love at 3, for instance,
yep,
or an offensive tackle, where we're all going to go. And then you trade up, you give up assets that you need to trade back into the first to get him. I'm not going to be happy about that. No, that's 2 completely different scenarios. But we'll talk more about that. Dale's with us all show today.
Unfortunately, I know I informed Steve there was a deep sigh. He loves his Thursdays because he gets about 25 minutes of Dale.
I'll put it this way. I broke out the whiskey that nobody knew I had here.
Yeah, and you don't even like whiskey.
No, it's funny. I told you I was driving in this morning. I just turned to 98, KUPD, and I was like, "Oh, they're playing music." I go, "John's probably off today," didn't I? I did, huh? We have well, Dale wanted to do something nice, and I purposely stunted him there. So Dale, just do it. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, well, you did stunt me, and I don't know why you did it on purpose because we can talk draft ad nauseum.
Yeah, I did.
But there's a difference around this place today that seems more bright and cheery and smells better and all those good things because we have the wonderful Autumn has taken a day off to come spend it with her sweetie.
Can you believe that?
No, I really can't.
I'm like, really? You don't need to get your hair done?
No, if I'm taking a day off, the first thing in my mind is like I'm doing anything but with Steve today.
Well, she took it off originally because we had that unknown of where the draft show was going to be at while we were waiting for some things to work out. Right. So she was like, "Oh, I'll help out in case you have to go set up someplace else and things to that." Plus, she's just got like 1,000, personal days she's got to take. So might as well take them here.
Yeah.
That's why. And then she decided to tag along this morning. She wanted to see her bestie Dale.
Yeah, I don't know about bestie, but it's always good to see you, Autumn.
Am I getting weird looks though? I just feel like there's somebody staring at me over here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. You could say it's always good to have you here. You could show a little bit of sweetness, kindness, lovability.
Why? Thursday.
Oh, so if it was tomorrow, it'd be different?
No, I still would feel the same. I just say it's Friday then. Uncle Lou comes in today as well.
There's a hole getting burned in
I know.
The
now
left
I can
side
feel
of your
it. I can
head.
feel it. My side of my face is warm. Left side, I mean. A little warm right now. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So your Suns lost last night, but they didn't make it a game. They covered the 17. You wuss, you wouldn't take it.
No, not in a gazillion years, especially when it's 8-on-5.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like an extra ref out there, I think. So it was 9-on-5 at one point. That's what I did see a guy that I'm friends with on Facebook that I knew from the racing world and stuff like that. He put out there and he goes, the NBA wants the Thunder to move on, not the Suns. These refs are a joke. And I was like, yeah? How do you not know that?
Well, and it's not that I think that the NBA, because the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers were like the lowest watched NBA finals in the history.
Yeah. Since
they did a tape delay back in the 70s. So I don't know necessarily the NBA wants them to move on.
They do. The Thunder.
But boy, oh boy, that team plays so dang physical. And they're allowed to play that way.
Yeah.
And yet they're all professional floppers on the offensive end.
And the refs eat it up.
Oh.
One that Booker had on Caruso where he went straight up on that breakaway and then grabs his face after Booker lets the ball go and he's above him and grabs his nose and then they reviewed it and then said it's still.
And they had a great angle of it that he didn't touch his nose.
Didn't touch him at all.
No. And
Yeah.
so,
But the replay can't show it. But the technical at the end of the game was egregious. I generally don't want to throw things, and I almost started throwing stuff.
yeah, it's going to be interesting because, again, after Devin's post-game press conference.
Which I have for you, folks, coming
up. You know what? And I'm a guy who, when I'm watching other teams, I don't want to blame the officials. Now, when I was playing, the officials sucked, but when other teams, I don't want them to bring the officials in. Just play.
Yeah.
But then I've heard other people talk, and it's right. It's like Phil Jackson used to do that. The great coaches used to bring up something.
Larry Bird.
You know what? Hey, I'll take a fine.
It's a small fine.
I'll take a fine. The Devin's making $60 million. He can take a $20,000 fine.
Can we change the referee and the influence that they have? Are they? But here's the problem. They've been doing it for the last couple of years. They won a championship doing it. It ain't changing.
Well, Oklahoma City's not changing, but
that's what I mean. But it's not changing with the refs either. They've been doing it for 2 years now, Dale.
Well,
now will it change for a game to where the Suns can win one? Maybe.
I still forecasting Game 4. Oklahoma City's going to say, "Let's get back to our humble abode."
I'll put it this way: the Suns played the best that they could play last night.
Close to it.
Right? And they still got blown out. I mean, double-digit loss.
Yes.
That's the problem, Dale. Here's my problem. Grayson Allen, why do they keep declaring him available and not playing him?
Well, they're saying he's available for an emergency. I don't know, down 17? Is that not an emergency?
That's what I told Autumn this morning. I go, start breaking the glass. In a case of emergency, break glass. Like, holy crap, what are we waiting for? End of the season? Okay, we're going to play him now.
Yeah.
But that tells you he's hurt, though. If he can only play on an emergency basis, that tells you he's hurt.
Right.
Goodwin didn't play last night. Now, if he can come back for Game 3 and they play that well as they did last night, I'm not saying they're going to win, but they might be able to pull it off because he actually will be. I also liked what they did defensively against SGA last night. My opinion was going into that game, I was thinking it before the game, where I was like, let SGA just score. Even if he scores 80 points, that means nobody else is scoring. So let him just dribble the ball around, go up and score. Every time he has the ball, everybody just step back away from him so that he can't get the phantom calls, right, and stuff to that, and let him just go to down. Like you put up a little bit of a resistance, but the second he starts driving, you run the opposite way. And just let him score 80 points because you're going to score more than 80, which means you're going to beat them then because that means nobody else is going to score for them. But they didn't employ my theory, probably for the best. But I liked their defense last night on them. The problem is, like there was one play where SGA went to the middle, and all 4 guys collapsed on him.
Yeah.
He just passed it out to Chet, who hit an easy 3.
But he also kept it one time and somehow got up a little dinky layup with all 4 Suns in the key.
Yeah, so it's just like you're just facing the best team.
Yeah.
I'm going to say in a long time in NBA basketball. And then you add the stuff we all hate, the flopping, the manipulating the refs. And I mean, I've never met a guy that I've wanted to punch in the face more than Caruso.
Ooh.
And folks, I couldn't stand, oh my gosh, I can picture him in my face right now. He's out of the league now. I couldn't stand the one guy, whatever. And I also can't stand who I call avocado, right? Alvarado. I can't stand him either. I hate those.
You also don't like the guy at the Diamondbacks game who said, "Go downstairs to get your shirt." You want to punch him in the face.
That was just rude. 100 feet away, Dale, and he yells that at me.
You also wanted to punch the hotel person who said they wanted $50 more.
I was nice to her.
No, you wanted to punch her.
Town played. No, I was just going to check in later. I was going to be like, so when I check in late, do I get a $50 discount for checking in late? Or if I leave early, do I get a discount for leaving early too? Funny how that doesn't work in that category. But I did get an email yesterday from Town Place Suites saying, "Tell us about your stay." Be more than happy to. Be more than happy to. I just said, you're going to charge for early check. First of all, I've stayed at this hotel a ton, so I said that. They can look it up. They see my name in there. Me and Autumn stayed there one time. We went twice now to go to a Vegas Knights playoff game. We went to the Knights, the in IFL, the Rattlers and the Vegas team. We were there one time for a weekend, and they were there, so we stayed at that hotel, went to that one. So I've been there a lot. My preferred hotel away from the Strip, because I hate staying at the casino hotels for all their crap that they do. Like I said, I just said, there's nothing that says $50. There's no posting or anything. It just seems like you're doing a money grab. Post something is what I basically said. Otherwise, it's unfair to the consumer that you're doing. That's all I said. And then I also complained about the car thing. Can I stop getting text asking me to extend my parking there, please? But anyway, I filled that out. I usually don't fill those out, Dale, and I filled it out yesterday. I'll just pass it along some info to him.
Yeah, I'm bad at filling those things out too, good or bad.
I
try to make sure that I fill out the good ones because the former business owner, I know it's hard to. People don't. They tell 10 people if it's bad service.
But I did say the GM or whoever waived it. I said they did waive the fee, but they made me feel like an idiot leading up to it. And that's the other thing. When you're a customer service person, don't go, it's the rules of the place. You want to talk to my general manager? And I'd rather not. But if you're going to make me, I didn't even ask for them. They just volunteered them to me, which also tells you a lot of people complain about that fee. Anytime a person on the front lines of customer service goes, you want to talk to my boss? That means a lot of people don't like that fee.
Well, maybe the town place suites people don't even know, and the general manager and front office person get to split that $50.
If you're not posting it, I'm calling shenanigans and bullcrap. I am. That was my whole point behind it. So, and I didn't have to pay it, but I did give them props for. I did say they waived it for the extra 30 minutes I was there early. So that was good. So I gave them positivity as I told them they need to post something to make it happen.
You know what I call BS on? Devin Booker's ball handling. Has there ever been a guy who gets the ball swatted out of his hands more while he's dribbling than Devin Booker?
He doesn't protect it with his body. He's always been that way.
And obviously now when Oklahoma City, they're not threatened by him blowing by somebody.
Yeah. Well, you saw that on the fast break where he got the foul on Caruso.
Yeah, well, because Chet Holmgren raced back there and you go 7-4
or shoot a shot and not hit a guy and get a technical.
Oh,
whatever.
He dribbles, and because I actually ran back and tried to slow motion the last one.
Dale's breaking down the Booker
dribbling with his left hand, and he's trying to keep. I'm not forgetting who it was. Off with his right hand, and the dude just kind of steps to the right a little bit, taps the ball, and it's a fast break going the other way.
Yes,
and that happens once, maybe twice a game.
Yeah. Oh, more than.
And you're telling me he's an All-NBA? You don't see that happen to Alexander. What's his name?
SGA.
Gilgeous. Yeah, SGA. Thank you. You don't see that happening to
Gilgeous Alexander.
No,
but SGA is what he did. Yeah, because you're going to trip. Look, what we do for a living, you're going to trip over it. As many times as you say it, you're going to trip over it.
That's why it's SGA.
Yeah.
Just like it was. Who was that quarterback for Alabama?
Tua? Yeah, Tua. It's always Tua.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Giannis.
Yeah.
It's always the Greek freak.
Or Giannis.
Or Giannis. Robert says the Cardinals' need for a QB does not make him worthy of a first-round pick. That's the problem, and you know this about drafts. People reach all the time, specifically for quarterbacks. There are quarterbacks that you're like, that's not a franchise-leading quarterback, but a team needs one. He's the second-best quarterback in the draft, so we got to take him at number 2, when you can probably get him at 20 if you were in a vacuum.
And if you picked him at 20 or the top of the second round, guess what? All the expectations are different.
That's the problem. You trade up for him,
mm-hmm.
Your expectations now go, he better be good. He better be starting over Jacoby Brissett after week 5 or week 6 or whatever if the Cardinals aren't winning. That's the problem. You're putting the expectation. That was Kyler Murray's problem. Number 1 draft pick, instantly, boom, expectations higher than what they should have been. But if you would have drafted him at 15, 20, nah, he'd just be another average quarterback out there. Probably would have been higher than his expectations if he was to that level as well.
He made Pro Bowl as a rookie, right? Him and Deshaun Sanders.
Yeah, Deshaun Sanders.
What's his name? Shadur.
I like how you combine Deshaun Watson and Sanders
hey,
into one.
They both play for Cleveland right now.
That's actually not a bad combination, to be honest with you. So, I mean, look, Lou's coming in at 9 o'clock. Of course, UFC talk, hockey, playoffs going on as well. But obviously, Suns is the big topic here today as we're getting ready for the NFL draft. Your Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock right now, Dale, to get this pick. Did Brady call you and ask you what he should do tonight?
Brady from the Holmberg's Morning Sickness?
No, from the Raiders. Tom Brady.
No, but Mark Davis did.
Did he? He checked in with you?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm getting a $2,000 haircut right now.
I said, make sure you get your haircut for tonight, big boy.
Look good. Make sure that white suit is impeccable when you walk up there.
You know, it's interesting because I was thinking about this last night, the fact that back in the 90s and 80s, whoever had the first pick in the draft, a lot of times they'd have him signed by the time the draft. It's just a formality.
Peyton Manning had his contract done.
He's already signed, and Aikman had his contract signed with the
I think
Cowboys.
that changed with Reggie Bush, didn't it? It might have changed before that, but he's the one I remember the most because he was going to go to Houston. Everybody thought he'd be the number one pick, but Houston couldn't get a deal with him that they liked. So they pivoted and went with the defensive guy instead.
I think what's happened is every franchise realizes, like the Cowboys do, that, hey, we're going to take 9 minutes. They're going to talk Raiders. You're going to see the Raiders logo. Yes. You're going to see Las Vegas. You're going to see
Here are their needs.
Yes.
Tom Brady's there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Mark Davis just sold equity in this team.
Oh, surprise. We're taking Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah, I'm gonna hype it up tonight. We're gonna have.
It is Mendoza.
Mendoza. What I say?
No, I said Fernando Valenzuela, and you just went on.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's funny you say that because last night I'm doing the graphics, and I kept looking at it because I'm like, is it Fernando? Like as I'm going through it, the more tired I got, I was like, I better make sure I'm spelling some of these names right. And then I was like, is it Fernando? Like I had to think about it. Right. The last name, it's pretty funny. The more I got tired, so. It's funny you say that. There's a couple times yesterday where I was like, does Jordan Tyson spell it with a Y? I know he does, but I'm like
Tyson Jordan or Jordan Tyson?
But I'm like literally like looking at the paper, looking at the paper. The more tired I was getting. It was so funny. Robert says, but first round in the 25 to 32 range would be plausible, or would be palatable, I should say. Don't first rounders get an extra year?
Yes.
The option year 5, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You take him in the first round, he's your quarterback of the future. Forget about drafting a quarterback next year. Now, the only caveat to that is the Cardinals are the one team that will give up on a guy after a year and pick another.
A top 10 guy.
Yeah. So there is a caveat to that, but 99.9% of the time, Dale, they draft Ty Simpson tonight as a first rounder.
Yeah.
He's your quarterback of the future. Period. End of story. I'm not necessarily bad with that. I'm not necessarily upset with that, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be a decent quarterback in this league, better than decent quarterback in this league. I'm not sure he's going to become Tom Brady, which is unrealistic expectations. But I'm not sure he's going to go to that upper echelon side of things. But he's going to be a better than average quarterback in this league. I believe so. I wouldn't be too upset about that, to be honest with you. Man, you've been selling us all along that you're setting it up for next year's draft. Can you imagine? Take Arch Manning out of it, but one of these other stud quarterbacks is sitting right there, and the Cardinals are drafting 3rd or 4th again next year. And you're sitting there, and that guy is just sitting there. And you're like, I'd rather have that guy.
I hate the fact when you start trying to forecast a year ahead of time, because how many times have we seen guys
just
go into the seat, go into the college season with all the pomp and circumstance?
Sam Levitt could be available for the Cardinals next year, and you cannot pass on that. You can't pass on Quitter Levitt.
Oh, now he's Quitter.
Oh, I said that earlier too.
He was your guy.
Until he got hurt, and then he quit on the team and didn't want to do anything. Go to all the other players that were in the transfer portal showed up for the Sun Bowl, but not me. I gotta go to the transfer portal. Go to the banquet. Quitter Levitt.
Don't hang out in El Paso.
I shouldn't call him quitter, Levitt, because there's a good chance that he was told not to show up.
Well, and I think that's where the didn't show up to the banquet thing kind of happened.
There's a good chance he was told, don't even bother coming. We don't want you there. Especially with the conversation. We have to be private here for a sec because I can't put this out there. But especially the conversation we had about a coaching situation and the comments around that. I'm more and more that maybe Kenny Dillingham's more cutthroat than we're willing to give him credit for.
Yeah.
He's not all publicly. He's all inclusive and build a team, but behind the scenes, I think he's pretty blunt with people, which actually kind of shocks me a little bit. But so that's why I kind of lean on that Levitt situation. There's a good chance that Dillingham was like, we don't want you there, Witter. But Sam Levitt could be there next year.
Yeah. And there'd be the Cardinals with their Ty Simpson, who's too short and too weak of an arm.
So obviously last night after the Suns game, it wasn't how well the Suns played and still couldn't win the game or be in the game at the end. Grayson Allen not playing, like you said, emergency only. I don't know what emergency you're waiting for at that point. I like the way the Suns played last night. Gives you some hope they'll be able to do something at home. The manipulation of the refs by Oklahoma City, you've got to try to combat that. It isn't going to work because these refs have been this way with this team for the last 2 years. But God bless Booker. He tried afterwards, and he's not wrong. Here's my point on this. Yes, the NBA has to fine them because of the precedent and stuff like that.
Yes.
This is specifically the reason why every referee, especially in the playoffs, regular season, I can understand, okay, he's not going to go in front of the media for regular season. Every referee needs to go and sit down in front of a mic after the game and get asked their questions. The coaches have to do it. Devin Booker had. You think Devin Booker wanted to be there yesterday doing that? You think Jordan Knott wanted to be there doing it after that game? They have to. They have to or they get fined.
Right.
And you allow your referees, good game or bad game, just get off scot-free. And it bothers the crap out of me. They got to sit down. Now, they're going to sit down and be like, here's what I saw. An unusual shooting motion by Devin Booker on Caruso. Yeah. Well, funny, because that's his shot every game. That's his normal
He'll
shot.
do that every once in a while, yeah.
And everything. Well, if you missed it, Devin Booker's going to be – is it possible – because he went after him personally, kind of by name-calling. Is it possible a suspension could come in this? Can you suspend somebody for basketball?
There won't, but there will be a certain –
what's it going to be, 50,000? 25, 50
It
grand?
might be a little bit
My favorite part about this, Dale, is also what he was wearing when he said it. Looked a little gangster up there with his dark sunglasses on while he's doing it. If you missed it last night, what we're talking about, Devin Booker after the game last night.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but even the broadcast was confused by your tech. What was the explanation that you got?
I still haven't got one. It's definitely something that has to be looked into.
right now he's contemplating.
I heard Caruso tell him to call the tech, and, he ended up doing it. So that's one ref. In my 11 years, I haven't called a ref out by name, but James was terrible tonight, through and through. It's bad for the sport, bad for the integrity of the sport. People are going to start viewing this as a WWE, if they're not held responsible.
Similar thing for you on the offensive foul with Caruso where you didn't get an explanation there either?
Yeah, and then the very next play, it said unnatural shooting motion that hit Caruso, but Caruso's moving forward on that. And if that's unnatural shooting motion compared to what guys are doing to get fouls nowadays, like, you can play them side by side, and, I'll let you guys be the judge. Like, pull the clips, run it back. I'm surprised this is happening on national TV in playoff games.
Look, how hard is that to play through?
It's hard. It just feels disrespectful. I know I haven't won a championship in this league, but I have been in it for 11 years now. So to get to this point, to be treated like that, for me to even be saying something out loud, it's bad.
Have you ever done something? I mean, have you ever? I don't think I can recall you talking about the officials.
Yeah, it's my first time in 11 years, but it's needed. Like I said, whatever I get fined for, everybody can pull the clips and see where the frustration comes from.
And Jalen Green sitting next to him was comical.
Did you see Jalen Green? As soon as he said the ref's name, Jalen Green just kind of goes.
He leaned back. Did you see him? Yeah, and he just.
Yeah. Go get him, Devin.
Just kind of leaned back a little bit. And then at the end there, he's like, no, nothing. He's like just looking around. And at the end, he's all.
That's Devin.
I'll say this. I mean, Devin Booker's not wrong with what he said. The NBA obviously doesn't allow that to happen. So he's going to get a huge fine because he used his name, which is also a giant no-no and stuff to that effect. Not giving him an explanation is bullcrap. And if you watch the play, I don't have the clip of the technical. The second, as he's going out of bounds, he flips the ball backward. Caruso literally goes, T. You can hear it on the broadcast. You could see him do it. And then that's when the ref called it. There was a good 5, 7, 8 seconds before that ref even thought about a technical. But stupid Caruso, that stupid headband, his baldness. I'm at least a good-looking bald guy.
I was going to say, hold on.
He's an ugly son of a
cast
gun.
aspersions on another bald man.
Yeah, well, if you're ugly
I
and
thought
bald.
y'all stick together.
No, if you're ugly and bald, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Why don't you wear a headband to the show tomorrow?
With those little wristbands on.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, Booker said nothing wrong there. He's 1,000%. It does look, I mean, other than the shot at the WWE. Come on, Booker. What are you doing taking a shot at such an outstanding professional organization? What are you doing taking that shot, Tiger?
So you're saying, hey, NBA double the fine for taking a shot at
Yeah,
WWE?
exactly. The fine won't be enough with that shot. He said nothing wrong. The NBA knows it as well. They don't care. They can't do anything about it.
No.
Those referees are the best. That's why they're in the playoffs. They don't care. The referee will get admonished. He probably won't work the next round, but who cares? That's just egregious bullcrap last night. And Devin Booker is 1,000% correct. This game wasn't hidden on Amazon Prime. This game wasn't hidden on Peacock, where most people can't see it and stuff like that. This game was on national ESPN last night, where the broadcasters, Dale, I don't see it at all. Then they do the on the Caruso foul, offensive foul, and they're like, "Yeah, this is obviously."
Well, and they're getting hamstrung. Doris Burks wanted to say more.
Yeah, she was told to shut up.
They're either told or she just knows.
She realized. She realized. She's like, I really like this job.
She wanted to say.
Yeah. It's not a good look for NBA basketball. That's your concern here if you're the NBA.
Yeah.
Is it looks terrible. And there's a difference between your refs sucking in the regular season and your refs sucking in high-profile playoff games. This was the highlight game last night. And the talk coming out of it is how bad the referees were. Seriously.
But there's also some stuff from Brooks, Dylan Brooks, talking about the flopping and the hey, playoffs. It should get more physical in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if you're going to continue to call it like it's regular season,
but that's my problem, Dale. Is the refs don't call the physical. They were letting them play last night. What they were calling was the flopping and the nonsense. I wouldn't have a problem if the refs were like, we need to get control of this game and blah, blah, blah. And they started calling it tighter. They didn't do that. They called a non-touching foul on Booker as an offensive foul.
And reviewed it.
Yeah, and reviewed it and still said an unusual shooting motion.
Yeah.
Then they called it technical because the Oklahoma City player begged for it, Caruso, begged for it. And all he did was flip the ball between his back like everybody does 1,000 times. How's that a technical? You're going out of bounds, you throw the ball backwards. Hopefully you hit the guy so it bounces in. There's nothing illegal about that. Nothing. That's the stuff they were regulating last night, not the technical and the toughness stepping up. And that's where you get frustrated, is the nonsense side of it as well as what you got to look at. So, I don't know. It's not going to change. The refs are going to ref. Oklahoma City's going to get the calls the rest of the playoffs. They're going to win a championship because they're really good and the calls. But I was thinking about it last night because everybody's up in arms about this. Spurs were the same way when they were winning championships. They were flopping. The big tall guy,
Tim
Duncan. Every time he got a foul, his eyes turned into freaking giant saucers of woo. And he just stared. He looked like he was looked like he couldn't. I just can't believe you called that foul. I didn't even touch him. Meanwhile, the guy's arms hanging off. My eyes can't get as big as Tim Duncan.
It bothered me more the two guards that played for them. The
Ginobili and what's
yeah,
his name?
I mean, because you breathe on him and Ginobili fall down.
So I hate to say it, but this is how you win championships in the NBA, Dale.
Well, I'm not going to go that far because at the end of the day, Oklahoma City doesn't need to do this.
This is what makes you the most mad. Yeah.
Because they are that good.
And the Spurs didn't need to do it, but they did it. You know, LeBron doesn't need to do it, but he does it. That's what makes you the most.
LeBron. Now, don't bring LeBron.
That's what makes you the most upset about it. Is they don't need to do it, and the rest don't need to call it and reward it. They're good enough without it. But my bigger thing is, if you don't watch NBA basketball, and last night you're like, oh, and there's nothing else on, I'm going to tune into this Suns Thunder game. You're disgusted by what you saw.
Yeah.
You know, we're Suns fans here. We're rooting for them, but I can also kind of pull myself away from it. And I'm just like, no matter, because I was saying it last year too about the Thunder, and I've been saying it all offseason. Just they're going to get the calls. It's just so infuriating watching it. It's so sick to see as well out there. So,
as a Suns fan, I am one of those guys who I don't like when Suns players complain about not getting calls either.
He had to do it yesterday.
But there's a lot of times where in regular season, Devin Booker's complaining about not getting a call, whatever. Get back and play defense.
Yeah, but he's doing it on the court.
Yes.
This time he waited for the press conference to do it. Well, that brings me to my point. Doesn't that show Devin Booker's the leader of this team right there by doing what he did? Mr. Devin Booker should be traded.
No, I think that Devin Booker makes the most money, so they said, who's going to go up there and say something about the officials? And he said, I'll take it for the team.
No, your leader needs to step up and do that. Now, and also Jalen Green's response, a reaction to what he was saying, tells me that there wasn't a discussion beforehand of, I'm going to go rip this ref. Because Jalen Green was like,
Because while we'll spend a lot of time talking about the officials, I'm also looking at between your two star guards, quote unquote, Jalen Green, Devin Booker, they had 12 turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers. Well, Papa Mike's been all over the turnovers. He messaged me last night and said that turnovers are the problem.
And 3-point shooting between their two stars, they were 1 for 11. Now again, you make 4 out of 11, even 5 out of 11. That's not 50%. Yeah. All of a sudden, this is a ball game.
Yeah.
So again, well, I completely understand this situation. The officials and call them out. And I want to see if it does any good. It might help a little bit. Game 3.
It's not.
It might. It might. It used to work for, like I said, for Phil Jackson.
Here's the problem. Nobody on this team is Phil Jackson. The Suns aren't respected by the league. The Suns should be getting, if the Suns were respected in this league, they'd be getting those calls, not giving them up. Do you see the Oklahoma City Thunder getting those calls still? Against them?
Well,
nope.
they do have a championship trophy.
Nope. No, they don't. Robert, Papa Mike, yeah, turnovers. Suns need to stop turning over the ball. Oklahoma City had 13 more points from turnovers and won by 13. And he said the same thing after game 1. Same trend there as well. But look, Oklahoma City's defense, at times you're like, they're all right defensively. But I'm telling you, they're really good at defense.
And they're slapping the ball, and they're getting hands in passing lanes.
Yeah, they're fouling constantly and not getting the calls. Yes, Dale, we know. We know what's happening. Papa Mike also laughing because I'm defending the WWE. Yeah, Booker. Settle down, Tiger. I say it's boxing or something, more better as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robert says, Slick Watts is the only guy that should ever wear a headband. This ain't aerobics.
I'm not going to argue there. Slick Watts, good play. He had the perfect shape head.
You think I don't?
No, you would not look. Are you telling me you think you'd look good with a headband?
Oh, I look phenomenal.
Okay, then you wear one tomorrow. We'll vote on it.
Oh, my gosh. The ladies would be everywhere in this building.
We'll vote on it.
That's why I can't wear a headband. It's so bad. I just have to, even the dudes are all over me. I have to, swat them all away. Like fly swatter, and I'm just whacking people with. Whoa, I gotta watch my phrasing. I'm hitting people with the fly swatter. Get away! I take the headband off, and everybody's like cockroaches. They just scurry away, Dale, afterwards. Been there, done that. Trust me. My headband phase was a whole nother time.
Headband phase.
But even Scott Van Pelt says, he says not a ton of fun to watch. He's an auto whistle, not a ton of fun. And I tend to agree with that. But I also didn't think the Spurs were a ton of fun in their dynasty years either. I thought it was boring, benign basketball, type of a thing. And it's worked. Yeah, the NBA's fine with it. It ain't going to change until the commissioner changes or something changes on that side. Throw up the playoff bracket for us, if you would, Kobe, as well. 2 games last night. Suns, of course, down at 2-0. I gave everybody hope, and it just didn't come through. Suns play again when? Saturday, I believe, on Peacock. Let's hide the Suns on Peacock on Saturday now. Lakers, Rockets, 2-0. Lakers lead there as well. Nuggets, Timberwolves, I believe, are tonight as well. So we'll see who takes the lead in that series. Spurs, Trailblazers are Friday night. See who takes that one as well. Pistons end up tying that series over the Magic, 1-1. Then the Pistons were in trouble in that game. They did some defensive switches and kind of saved that game for them last night. 1-1 in that series now as well. Cleveland Raptors tonight as well. Again, series nobody cares about. Cleveland's just dominating that series. Knicks Hawks tonight as well. That's going to be a fun one. The pressure is just going to keep just ramping. Now they're on the road now. But this pressure on the Knicks is just going to become like this giant noose, and it's just going to tighten and tighten and tighten. Even if the Knicks win tonight, if they don't win in big fashion, the people are still going to be upset about it, and it's just going to feel it tighten on the Knicks. Hate to see it on a better team there as well. Then you got Celtics and 76ers tomorrow night as well around the NBA here as well. So let's take a quick break, come back, talk some baseball.
Okay, before we go there real
Lou
quick.
comes in, yes.
Dylan Brooks also said, talking about SGA, said he's a little frail, and that's what the refs are going to call.
Is that what he said last night?
Yes.
Okay. He said a lot of stuff after game one.
Yeah. And he said, I've got to be smarter about it, but this is the playoff. It's a man's game.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. But he's also the MVP, so he's going to get a little favorable treatment. Back-to-back MVP.
There's favorable treatment, and then there's just downright making stuff up. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
It's NBA. Fix your game, man. The Thunder could be an all-time great team. They just knocked that crap off.
Just
you
go
allow
ahead.
it to happen.
Fix your game, because next time somebody compares it to the WWE, you're going to go out of business.
I'm going to lose my mind if you keep attacking just an outstanding organization, a reputable organization in the WWE. Yeah, the NBA, I've always told you all along, the NBA is way more scripted than the WWE does. Ever. Come on back, folks. We talk baseball leading up to Uncle Lou coming up at 9 o'clock. Come on back. We're just talking about that Devin Booker clip. I think it's epic beyond belief with the dark sunglasses and and everything on top of it sitting there. Whatnot. Hey, Diamondbacks, I told you not to worry about them.
Steve.
You're all worried that they're going to
Stephen
lose.
McCollum.
Torey Lavello's Diamondbacks don't go on big slumps, Dale.
Stephen McCollum.
Torey Lavello's Diamondbacks don't lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. Just like I said, Dale. Just like I said.
Wow. What a really nice response after the game on what are we, Thursday now, on Tuesday night? Yeah.
I know, we're all confused on our days now. We're all like, what? The shock here from everybody that Vargas is playing well. Folks, he's been playing well all season long. We're driving in this morning and listening to the Suns channel, right? And everything. And like they did this whole thing where they're like, oh, huge surprise player last night stepped up, and Vargas with his 2 home runs. And I was like, Vargas has been playing lights out all year. What do you mean this is a surprise? I think he turns 35 this year too. Stepping up at that point. I'm not too sure they win that game without Vargas.
Yeah, he turns 35 on July 16th.
But that's the whole point of it, though. You have, I'm going to call them randos, and I don't mean that disparagingly. I just mean, somebody not Marte, Carroll, etc. A guy on this team. You need them to step up to be successful. Every team needs that, and the Diamondbacks have it right now.
Well,
fantastic job by him because Alec Thomas ain't doing it.
You also look at last night, 16 hits.
I know.
I mean, let's not. I understand Vargas had himself one whale of a game. Arenado went 4 for 4.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was hitting the ball last night. Perdomo 3 for 4.
Yeah.
So really,
he's up to
Corbin
260,
Carroll.
by the way, folks.
Yeah,
Perdomo,
look at that.
He's quietly up to 260.
Corbin Carroll's batting 312. He went 3 for 4.
Yeah.
Bunch of RBI.
But it's the White Sox. I mean, Gurriel Jr., what are we going to do with him? 063 right now? I mean, I'm kidding, folks. He's been back for less than a week.
This Fernandez kid?
Yeah, he's got to play every day, period, end of story.
Come on.
I don't care who you have to sit. This kid's in the lineup every day. Until it just bottom falls out, which it's going to at some point. Being a rookie and young guy and stuff like that, it's going to eventually, he's going to hit a wall and struggle a little bit. But they've had enough time to have film on him and things like that, and he's still performing. That is positive from his side as well. He needs to be in there every day as well. Good news is we didn't have to see McCann pitch yesterday, so there's a positive.
How about Erod? Undefeated all-star starter Erod.
Yeah, he's only 2-0, though, because
Erod.
He got robbed on a couple starts there and everything. But, yeah, 5 innings pitched. Did give up the 4 earned runs, though. There is, first inning, they give up the 2 runs, and you're like, uh-oh, here we go. First inning problems again.
Not my D-backs.
Not your Erod. Then the bullpen puts it down. Seawald's back in there for his save as well. It's not really a save.
He didn't get a save for it.
But he was in there to wrap out the game because he hadn't been in there for a while.
No, he needed some work.
Day game today coming up here for the Diamondbacks, 12:40 first pitch. Everybody who kind of like rolled their eyes and said, this guy's not going to be in the lineup here once Merrill Kelly comes back. Soroko's on the mound today against Davis Martin. I'm just going to say it this way. Diamondbacks should win this series today.
Yes.
It's favorable in their way with the pitching. Now you got to go out and pitch. Now they had Monday off. They had last Thursday off, so they've had a couple days off. They are using a lot of pitchers in this series.
Yeah, but 1 inning? I mean, every reliever went 1 inning.
That's the thing. You got to get your work in anyway. So go out there. That's why you put Seawald in yesterday. He hadn't pitched in a while, in a few days. So you put him out there and do it. I just don't, man. We don't need Seawald going sideways because, he goes in non-safe situations and it messes him up on
those. Again, and people don't understand it. It's the mindset.
He's fragile. Let's face it. He's a little fragile.
No, he's not fragile. Strong as a bull in the head. Are bulls strong? Are bulls smart?
I think they're brute force.
Are they?
I think they're like linemen.
Are they?
Yeah. Defensive line.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen are smart.
Wow.
There's a difference there as well. Yep. So a good game yesterday. That was a fun game to watch as well. Way better than that Suns game.
Oh, goodness.
Have you ever seen? By the way, Mets won yesterday.
Oh, dang
Losing
it! I
streak
wanted
set.
that losing streak to continue for a little bit.
All they needed was apparently Juan Soto to come back. He comes back and then they win. Look at that. They needed their $800 million a year guy to come back to win it as well. I've never seen this before. And this stuff, I've seen it before. I don't know if I've ever seen it happen to a pitcher. But, man, just you have to be going through something when a ball's coming towards you and does this. If you didn't see it yesterday, here we go. Into the shirt, folks.
Right back, and it is caught. No, it's in his shirt. Logan Gilbert wore that one.
Literally wore that one.
That was something that you will not see again.
What are the odds
It
of that
went
happening,
in
man?
his jersey at 108 miles an hour, right between the buttons.
He's trying to just defend himself, and you can see it go in the shirt right there.
How does that even happen?
Hold on, is that an out?
That's an out. It's a
Okay.
catch. He caught it in the air.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how you catch it.
Ground.
Doesn't matter how you catch it.
Okay, don't act like you knew that rule before you watched this.
Well, I did.
Your tone of voice. Autumn, I don't like his tone of voice sometimes.
Well, yeah, she's going to agree with you on that. Trust me. She's like, and? Yeah?
Wow, how much do you think that hurt?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, I don't necessarily know because it hit his shirt and obviously had a ricochet back off his body, right? Because of the force on it before it slows down. But just I'm about to get hit by this pitch thing, and then you saw him, got to be like, where's the ball at? Where's the ball at? Yeah. Where's the ball at? His heart had to be going like 100 miles an hour, flipping out about it, trying to figure out what's happening type of a thing.
I'm in pain. Where's the ball? I want to get this done with. And
I don't necessarily know if he's in pain because his adrenaline is probably through the roof. Like it's already high as a pitcher, but it's probably even more so through the roof. But what are the odds of that? And did you see how hard it was for him to pull it out of his shirt? And it went in that way with ease.
Well, at 108 miles an hour.
Well, that's the difference. 108 miles an hour has no problem going to that side. So, well, Robert says WWE does make sense. I do see Skeletor as a Triple H light, meaning the commissioner. Triple H light, way light. Yeah, Triple H is still a big dude. I saw the excerpts from the Kill Tony that was in Vegas over the weekend where WWE and Triple H showed up. He's still a big dude, man. For him, he showed up at Timmy No Breaks segment as well. We got Uncle Lou coming up at the top of the hour, but first, Dale, some mock drafts for you. Let's break them down. Are you ready?
Okay.
Oh, you really wanted to?
No.
I will say this. Shocker to everybody, Las Vegas Raiders are taking Fernando Mendoza. Or Francisco Valenzuela or whatever Dale called him earlier. But the big question is number 2, Jets, David Bailey, Arvell Reese, etc. ESPN today. This is Fields Yates and Mel Kiper Jr.
Okay.
Jeremiah Love going to the Cardinals.
It's been more and more. Now
It has been. Nationally, it's been more. I think it's Jeremiah Love or it's trade down.
Well, that's what I'm wondering are the
Smoke
Cardinals leaking that so that somebody who wants him at 5, 6, 7, 8 might move up in front of Tennessee?
I saw somebody put out yesterday, Giants are interested in Jordan Tyson at number 5.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. They do that, then
taking
then
him.
the Giants are Giants.
The Giants have been to every workout that's
Yeah.
happened, even if he's not working out. They've done every excuse to talk to him. The Giants are taking Jordan Tyson. It's just a matter if it's 5 or 10. And I agree with you. It better be 10. But what if they get some rumors out there that so-and-so likes him at 8?
Nobody else. I've heard New Orleans might be interested in him.
Yeah, but they're at 8. They're at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Right here. New Orleans Saints. They have Jordan Tyson going to the New Orleans Saints at 8.
Yeah.
That means the Giants will have to take him at 5 if they want him.
Because these guys said that.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying if you have any doubt that
Yeah.
he's at that point, what you're looking at. Isn't that amazing? He was like mid-20s in everybody's mock draft, and now all of a sudden he's back out there.
I still guarantee you he's the one guy that I could see doing one of those draft day drops.
If the Giants don't take him at 10,
Yeah.
he's going to drop. Nobody's. Well, a lot of teams don't need receivers,
Right.
but then also that's the teams that do need receivers aren't picking until the beginning of the second round again. I could see him do a big slide. That's why I'm kind of shocked he's going. Which also tells me what? The Giants have probably told him, if you're there at 10, we're taking you. So he knows he's going at least 10.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, if you ever talk to like 100 draft prospects,
They all get told that.
how many times they've been told, "Hey, if you're there at 20, we're going to take
But
you."
this feels different for the Giants because you got to also realize every time there was a workout around ASU and Jordan Tyson didn't participate, the Giants were there.
Maybe they side-eyed the offensive lineman.
The other big news around the draft here, and I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Mike Vrabel not going to be with the team on Saturday for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
He's seeking counseling. Apparently, the counselor only had available on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me check my schedule here, Mr. Vrabel.
When can you make it?
Saturday available.
Well, we got the third day already taken care of. So.
I just find it weird that he's like, not going to be there on Saturday. Which tells you he doesn't have a lot to say in the draft, right? Isn't that weird, though? You couldn't have waited till Monday to do counseling?
Yeah, everything about it's very weird, and I always go back to Sebastian Maniscalco, my favorite comedian. He says, the guys that are in sex counseling and all that, they're the ones who got caught.
I did see more pictures come out of those two having
Oh.
breakfast together in Sedona.
Oh,
There was nobody around for the breakfast that they had together.
okay.
I did see new pictures on that. So he says, I've always wanted to lead by example, and I believe this is what I have to do to be the best husband, father, and coach that I could possibly be. Folks, he's trying to save half of his money from the divorce.
Now, what he's trying
That's
to
what's
do is his wife said, if
That's
you
my
go
point.
to counseling, we will discuss.
That's my point.
Yeah.
He's trying to save that. I do not believe he's in any trouble with the Patriots. He's
No.
not. Their owner got caught at a Chinese massage parlor, which is infinitely worse in my
Asian,
eyes.
Steve.
Oh, Asian.
Asian.
What'd I say?
Chinese. We don't know if it was
No,
Chinese.
we don't know that.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't know.
Asian.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
I didn't mean
Asian.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are just the ones I go to. Uncle Lou coming up
Alrighty
next,
on that
second
one.
hour, main event. Come on back, Uncle Lou. And we're back here. Main event on Thursdays means Uncle Lou joins us. Veasan, of course, Gamblu.com. Dale's joining us for this segment as well. Really quick point of clarification. Okay, I thought it was an out because I knew something happened. It's just a dead ball on that play. So he did get awarded first.
Okay.
You cannot catch a ball with anything but your jersey. Yeah.
No, anything but your glove.
Anything but your glove or hand, I think. Yeah.
Right,
I knew that on the hat, but I didn't realize. Sure, you should get it at that point.
Right before you came on, Lou, just to explain to you, there was a line drive hit right back at a pitcher at 108 miles an hour. Somehow, it came lodged inside his jersey. So he's looking around for it.
The
and
spin.
then
It's
right here.
spun in or something.
Right here. Oh,
Yeah.
let me
So,
get my page.
And so we weren't sure if it was an out or not.
So it just becomes a dead ball. It does get awarded first. So
Thank you to give credit to your
it's a
source.
I want to thank Grok for telling us that.
Dead ball awarded first. I mean, I would.
Autumn gave me that.
If I
news, by
had
the way.
to guess 10 of them, that would be the last one. I should guess he's out.
Yeah, that's what you think.
And the ball never hit the ground.
If I lay down and my 2 feet catch it,
I
he's
know.
out.
I know if you catch it with your hat, it's a dead ball and stuff.
Well,
but I figured a jersey
okay.
where it gets hit into there. I just assumed it. I know. But baseball's
Interesting.
got all those weird rules, right? That we have to deal with. But of course, Uncle Lou Veasan, you can find him there, contributor on that find programming for gambling, and then of course Gamblu.com as well. Lou, how you been, man?
I'm doing great. We're in the middle of a fine, great time of year, and there's no NFL, and so that creates a huge vacuum. It makes the UFC much more popular, and guys that cover it like me, maybe a smidge more popular. At least I'm busier, have more opportunity to speak, because there isn't that shadow being thrown on college and NFL, which is great. So college baseball's getting ready to start manifesting into playoffs and such. We have hockey playoffs, so we're a week into hockey playoffs. I know we're going to talk about that. UFC, all the passion sports is what Uncle Louie covers.
Right.
And I love covering it.
Okay, but Lou, you sitting down here on a Thursday morning. You're sitting down there Thursday morning. It's the start of the NFL draft, and you're telling me there's no NFL? The NFL draft tonight, the hockey's going to be way down viewership-wise. Basketball will be.
Dale's such a polished professional because we've done this for years, and he knows my position. You led me into that perfectly, and thank you for that. And I'm going to say it nicely. To me, it's folly to think that these billion-dollar NFL organizations are going to allow any information out of their inner circles. If they do, it's on purpose. And so the common man like me, to think that I'm going to be able to predict what these teams no, I think the draft is looked at completely incorrectly because of the void of NFL, and they need it so bad. So you get everybody predicting and betting on it. No. The NFL season actually begins the day after the draft. And I'll tell you why, because at that day, you now get to look at 3 days or X amount of rounds where each NFL team once a year tells you as much about themselves as they ever will, because it's a public draft. And they're telling you all they did was the Cardinals took offensive linemen. Maybe they want to solidify their offensive line, run the ball. Okay, so the draft tells us how the teams look at themselves. Why would I try and guess what they're doing? That, to me, that is the greatest waste of time. And it frustrates me that people do it and it's popular, but let them all chase their tails. I got hockey, college baseball, and UFC to cover.
Yeah,
absolutely. So really
Thanks,
quick,
Dale.
Robert also says, doesn't everybody go to counseling after a friend's trip, Dale? That's the other thing with Vrabel.
Oh, yes. I wanted to comment on that. All the guys in counseling are the guys that got caught.
Yeah.
That's like that is Aristotle right there.
That's Vrabel now. He's missing the NFL draft on Saturday.
I know I read
To go
all
to
about it.
canceling,
And you know what? What do you know?
Robert also had that was a dead ball also on that
In
play,
today's day and age,
right.
when they found Saddam Hussein in Iraq, in his own country, in a bunker out in the middle of nowhere. I don't want any trouble with the man. Yeah. So I'm out. Now if you're going to go and play like that, we're going to be cute. We're going to leave the Biltmore and go up to Sedona. Oh, baby.
Well, I contend.
Why don't you just go up with balloons?
I contend that was like a hit piece against him because the way just at that resort, the way it was photographed and things. That's
apparently
come out,
there's more. There's something going on.
Yeah. I saw something this morning.
You don't want to see
I'll put it this way: it's a public secret in NFL circles. What's going on? It's just nobody's going public with it.
Yeah,
but it's known in the background.
Oh, sure, yeah. No, the inside of each organization or institution.
They do all this research on the draft picks tonight. They know about these coaches and what they're doing before they pump money into them and stuff like that as well. But Lou, no intro today, but I have to say at least, right, Gamblu. At Gamblu on X. Follow him there. The Sneak Tea podcast out for this week as well. Always comes out Sunday night, Monday morning.
Yes,
about business after the weigh-ins on Friday. Give, if you have the ability and looking for places to give, of course, give it to your favorite charity down there in southern Tucson. Say that name.
The Mission of San Xavier del Bac.
And
it's located just south of Tucson. And Steve lets me mention it every week. It's near and dear to every Arizonan's heart. It's the oldest mission in the country, for crying out loud. It's like built in 16-something. Going under renovations now. They're doing really, really solid community work there, and they have for centuries, not just decades. So easy place to support. Any information you want on them can be gleaned from going to the Gamblu webpage and looking at one of the top tabs, which is where you can find everything on me. Thanks for letting me say that.
Oh, yeah, no worries, but I wanted to make sure that people know where to find you because we, of course, are, college baseball's wrapping up. ASU's hit this big slide. We've been high on them the last few weeks. They've started to lose some games, lost again last night. SEC, of course, and ACC is doing really well this year. We are getting ready to start here in about a month now, the conference championships, of course, and then into, the regionals, super regionals, and that fun stuff coming up here. UCLA still number one, dominating.
Yeah, listen, with puck passion every night, it'll go quick till we're in those conference tourneys. So I don't really – a team that's 22 right now like Arkansas, they're going to do better than that 22 ranking. Team like UCLA ranked 1, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. There's the whole season's in front of us right now. Yeah, we know who the big bullies are, but let's see what happens when each of these teams that's not SEC has to get in there and fight with a kid that's got 2 big brothers because that's a different fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so college, I just wanted to touch on it. Obviously, we have bigger things to talk about today, but I just wanted to talk about it here. But
I love it.
You're seeing some, Kansas is making some runs here on this list. Oregon is fallen, but Nebraska's back after being unranked. But Oregon State's still doing good. But you're seeing some guys. Coastal Carolina still, I think they dropped a couple points this week, but they're still up there. So you have the usual suspects is what I'm getting at. Obviously, Florida's not on that list. LSU out of it as
Florida
well. Florida got back in? Okay, they're at 21. I didn't see
and
that.
They should make you weak-kneed Willie because that's a team that's made it to the College World Series with a 500 record and gone to the finals. So this is all going to percolate right now. The next big step will be conference tourneys, and then we're going to have to find out, like a UCLA, they're going to get a 1 seed, and how taxing or how far out will they really go to win those games in that first set at home when they're going to be the big bullies, they're going to be at home, and they have another week maybe where they play at home again coming up. Sometimes those conference tourneys, UCLA, they've already made their number 1 or number 2, 3, or 4 because it's
they're going to get a regional and super regional.
More than likely, they're going to get a home situation, and if they can manicure it that way, then that conference tournament may not mean so much to them or another team. And you got to watch that close.
Okay.
I'm not big into betting the conference tourneys. I'm more into seeing how they end up and how that field of 64 looks because it's bracketed just like the basketball tournament.
So let's move on to hockey here really quick as well. Hockey playoffs are going. You gave us some views last week. Your blog last week had some picks as well that you were leaning towards. You put that all out, if I remember correctly, on Saturday morning because we're waiting for the season to end last Thursday with some spots there as well. Dale is all ecstatic because he's going to be able to see the Zammoth coming up here up in Utah with a 1-1 series here against the Vegas Knights. First loss for Torts.
Well,
he doesn't know what the Zammoth is.
I know what the Mammoth is. Are you going to a hockey game?
No.
Oh,
Wait,
too bad.
I would love to, but Steve won't go do our show from up in.
Let's
go.
go.
see.
Well, it's the schedule on this one.
Yeah.
They
I'll
beat the
tell
Knights
you
well
what,
down.
you'd probably find a cheaper ticket in Boston than you would up in Utah.
Yeah.
That Utah, it's on fire there.
Yeah.
And only half the team can see it.
In hockey.
Yeah, only half the
They
fans
have
can
strong
see
ownership,
Yeah.
and they're gonna buy their way. No, that ownership group with the local.
They own
there's a
the
wealthy
Jazz and
family,
everything,
right?
yeah.
Believe me.
it.
Yeah.
Billionaire family. But 1-1 in that series here. Torts lost his first game as the short-term coach here, at least 11 games into his tenure here with the Knights. Loses the game there. They're going back to Utah 1-1 in this series. What are you thinking? I know because you weren't high on Vegas. Then you kind of perked up a little bit. Last week we talked about it with their winning with Torts. What are you thinking in this series?
Yeah, pre-Torts, I had already thrown dirt on Vegas. Really, Torts came. I still was very skeptical until 9-10 days later when they had won 6 or 7 straight
7-0-1 to finish
Right.
the regular season.
And so you had that veteran team, that ownership group, and then now Torts. To overlook it would be really insane. It would not be a sound handicapping practice with those perfect alignments to overlook that team. So you can't, especially when you look at the bracket and you see where they're positioned down there with the Sisters of the Poor, the Ducks, and the Oilers.
Edmonton and Anaheim,
the Mammoth believe in one thing. They believe that the success of their season will come down to this series because they want to, in their first season in the playoffs, do to Vegas what Vegas did in their first season to another veteran team. And
Right.
so the drive and the focus for the Mammoth shouldn't be underestimated. And the goaltender for the Knights, and they didn't lose by letting in 4 or 5 goals.
Yep.
I mean, he's holding up so far, and that's Torts' guy from Philly who came under his. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. That's a 7-game series that Mammoth have every opportunity to win.
Tell me this, because this Torts guy, Tortorella,
Yes, John Tortorella.
he was brought in with 10 games left in the season.
Night to go.
Correct.
Yep.
And how can a head coach make that what seems to be that much of a difference from my perspective to not lose a game the rest of the regular season with a team that's kind of logging along? How can he make such a difference?
Well, it's a championship caliber team as far as the composition and talent of the makeup of the players, number one. And it's hugely experienced, meaning they've won the last 4 or 5 years in a row.
Right.
And so something was broke down. And the coach, Cassidy, that came from Boston, is a tight grip, fire and brimstone coach. To me, what was more surprising is that, and the reason I was skeptical about Torts was because Torts makes Cassidy look like romper
softie.
room.
Yeah, a softie.
And here comes Torts, who's Parcells and Belichickian.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how he does it. And there's no. But he came in and said, "Hey, this is a good team. There's not much I have to do." And he's playing back. He's doing what he has to do behind closed doors. And that my experience in hockey is that's why you can't underestimate them. They're surely the number 2 chalk team to make the Stanley Cup from the West right now in that side, and they're favored to win their bracket down there. But we got to find someone that can beat them, and I think they're going to get a scare from the Mammoth.
Really? Okay.
I really do. I think the Mammoth is real, and their focus, what they're trying to do to the established Vegas could happen.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas over the weekend visiting, the best sporting event ever put on the face of the planet. the less scripted one compared to the NBA out there. But a lot of the controversy and a lot of the talk was who's going to go with the gold.
WWE is what he's talking about.
Incredible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk on goaltender choices, and when they announced who they were going with, it was kind of like a mixed reaction on it. So that I think that's his most controversial, but it's worked out at least. Like you said, even though they lost, it wasn't like they gave up 8 goals, 9 goals, something to that effect. So it's going to be fascinating. This is a series where, we know these Utah guys. I, of course, know Vegas pretty well. I am like you. I'm a little low on them right now. But I've liked how Utah's looked so far in this series as a young team compared to the veterans. We'll have to see what it does going home and stuff. On the other hand, you got Edmonton, Anaheim. Anaheim, in my opinion, it snuck into the playoffs, but not a team that really should be there. But they woke up last night and beat Edmonton 1-1 series now there. Are you high on Edmonton in this playoffs, or are you
well, no, like because Draisaitl kind of was late to the party, even though he's playing, and they have hugely Edmonton problems. The last 2 years, at least, they tried the blue line and goaltending. This year, their blue line and goaltending isn't really it. Look, what was the score last night? 6-4.
Yeah. So a lot of goals.
If you're an NBA fan, watch that series because you're going to get points in it. And the Ducks are a good team. The issue with the Ducks is they're a year ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
These guys are all diaper dandies, but they can play and they're gritty. Their coach is underrated, and Edmonton's ripe as a Georgia peach. And that's why I say if the Mammoth could get to the Ducks, that could be a favorable matchup down there for them. Meanwhile, all the big, huge monsters are competing now, Dallas and Minnesota, as well as Colorado, who's the team to beat. So that West looks like somebody's got to beat Colorado, and I think we're going to find someone. And the East is wide open. Montreal looking tough as
I was going to bring up Montreal, but first, Dallas, Minnesota. Dallas gets the overtime win last night. 2-1 series here. I am not high on Dallas because of the goaltender. At some point, he falters, which costs them. But also Minnesota. I thought Minnesota would be a team that would get through this to face Colorado. I'm disappointed in Minnesota so far. What are your thoughts?
It's too early in a series to be disappointed or ecstatic about any team. These are 7-game series, and like Minnesota, Dallas is probably going 7. So. To blow too much emotion now, I would advise against. What I do want to say is let's just go over what the numbers are, okay? Yep. Home teams 10-8, favorites 10-8. That means every home team obviously has been the favorite.
Yeah.
And the overs are 8, 7, and 3. But
rightfully so, they should be.
Let's talk about home team. Yeah, rightfully so, they should be. That's exactly John Q's approach. And when the reason I track these numbers and these openers is that every time a home team opens, they're at one number, say 150, and then 5 minutes before the game, then they're at minus 170.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking for advantage and I want my dollar to return as much as possible, and I'm preaching, you can go to my webpage and see every single day of the Stanley Cup what we've been doing, and I'm 9-8. So I'm 9-8, and home team's 10-8. I can't make any qualms about it. I have to take road teams. Why? Because on, like today, we have a game, Dallas, tonight playing Minnesota. They open at plus 111, all right? Now they're plus 125. Why? Because everybody perceives Minnesota as being in the absolute must-win. They don't want to go to Dallas. And 2 games ago, Minnesota was flying high 5-1 to win the cup and stuff. So the emotions run high, and you got to be aware of what these numbers are. So Dallas today's plus 125, and by tonight they'll be 130.
Yeah, that was actually yesterday, just so you know.
Oh, those were yesterday's numbers.
Yesterday. So you're giving yesterday's numbers, which is fine, but it's a good example there.
It's a perfect example.
Tonight you got Buffalo, Boston, which Buffalo, young team. Boston's a young team, but Buffalo, getting away from home here to go to Boston. Carolina, Ottawa tonight, and then Colorado and the Kings as well tonight into this series. Buffalo-Boston's been a fun series to watch. Buffalo had to come back in that first game as well to win that there. Boston gets the second game in Buffalo, back to Boston. Now, I think Buffalo is going to relax a little bit going to Boston. They get away from that crowd raucous crowd in Buffalo a little bit. So that'll be a fun game to watch tonight as well, 4 p.m. our time. Carolina, Ottawa, to me, Lou, tell me if I'm wrong, garbage series. I don't even care about it. Carolina's winning this thing. I don't even care other than can Carolina get out of it without getting beat up, because the longer this goes, the Kachuk brother is just going to try to beat people up constantly. Then Colorado Kings. Kings are fighting in this series. They're not going to make it easy for Colorado, even though Colorado's going to win it. They're not going to make it easy for them here. But I also think Colorado needs to finish this series early to get a break here while the other series, Dallas and Minnesota, goes long in this series, because that's just going to set up Colorado for a long run here if they get some rest.
There's a lot to say there. First thing is you don't want too much rest between series. The last thing Colorado wants to do is sweep LA, especially easy, sit there for 8 days waiting for the winner of a 7-game series. They don't want that. So, and I'm not saying they're going to let LA win, but you have to raise an eyebrow with LA because they have played their style of hockey and only allowed Colorado 2 goals in 2 straight games. Mm-hmm. Consequently, you got to raise an eyebrow at Colorado and say, listen, this team here, they can outskate you, they can outscore you, and yet they can outplay defense with these 2 woods in goaltending. So
and it went to overtime in the second game as well. So I mean, LA took them all the way to overtime before Colorado ended up winning it.
Yeah,
so.
Scoreboard, baby, 2-0 is what it reads. And so, and Colorado's the other one. Colorado, really, LA's got to find a way to win a game. Colorado can't sweep them. That I think will be a stumbling point for Colorado in this next series, because the winner of Dallas and Minnesota into Colorado is going to be another brutal series. The second brutal series for Minnesota or Dallas, but the first brutal series for Colorado, maybe. This one could end up being it. Yeah. So it's wide open. It looks great.
Yeah.
I just want to review again, the webpage has the positions.
We'll talk about Montreal here. I mean, they're tied 1-1 with Tampa Bay, but I've liked the way I've said they're live in this series. I don't necessarily know if they're going to win it, but I say they're live in this series, and they're going to make this a fun, competitive series. They've done that so far against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, last year Montreal made the playoffs, and we said, they're just a year early. Mm-hmm. And they got their nose bloody, but they learned how to play playoff hockey. We can see that now in how they're playing Tampa. So these 2 games in Montreal are huge. If they go back down 3-1, they're going to be tough to beat. And if it's 2-2, we got another 7-game series on our hands. But Montreal is young, aspiring, ascending, and learning. And Tampa is old and tired and doing everything that their genius coach can do, who, by the way, is on the Parcells and Belichick level as far as coaching, as far as I'm concerned. He's doing everything he can do to keep his team believing and relevant. But this Montreal team, if they get by Tampa, they're really dangerous.
Yeah, now, can they do it is the bigger question that we got to look at. So, wrap up, other series here, like I said, Pittsburgh-Philly. That, to me, I knew was going to be a terrible series. I just was more interested in the hate for the 2 cities and everything. That's even been kind of a dud after the first game there. But your thoughts overall on the series? What did you want to add on the hockey side?
Yeah,
go to Gamblu.com, by the way, if you need the info.
I was just surprised that Pittsburgh hasn't put up any fight with those veterans.
No fight, right?
I mean, Tockett's got these young kids flying around and believing it, and that's a team. Again, you got to raise an eyebrow. That goaltender let in an unbelievable goal the other night, but that's a young team again that I think they're there too early, and a team like Montreal will have advantage over a lot of these teams because of what happened last year. Mm-hmm. And if they beat Tampa, it'll be because of what they've done this year by beating Tampa.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They'll dispose of a good team right off the bat, so that kind of just hypes them up a little bit as they continue on.
Well, a team that with Carolina was the chalk to come through that side.
So the hockey playoffs are underway. I'm excited about them. Is that all you're doing for the most part? I know you got UFC stuff.
We've been going game by game. The future positions were posted 6 weeks ago. And so the fact that I have Tampa to win the East and Montreal to win the East, they're playing each other. Of course, I don't set it up that way if I know what the bracket looked like back then. There was no bracket back then. So I've got, the good news is one of my guys is going on, and I'm hoping it's Montreal at 14-1, obviously. So.
Good numbers.
And
there.
then I have Minnesota in the in the West. And those are the only futures I've done. Normally I do a whole bunch of futures at the beginning of the year, but because last year was a pretty terrible year for me, I spent 10 months thinking about how I was going to approach this one. And I figured the first round, what I would do is back off and maybe catch more understanding early. And man, am I glad that I did. I would have had Pittsburgh pretty strong.
It changed
There's
a lot.
one
Yeah.
that I would. I mean, you think about it, and nobody wants to admit that they're just warm manure out there on the ice. So there's some big misses there. There was a couple of hits, of course, but I'm glad for last year because it's made me really focus. Not to mention the fact that we're at 9-8 plus 2.12 units, which represents 25% ROI, but the season's early. But that's where we stand today, and it'll be out tonight. You just go to the webpage.
Absolutely, the webpage is where you go. You have to actually like log into the website. You don't charge anything. But
there's no charge, but you have to put an email in and sign up so that you can go to the NFL tab and hit commentaries, and then you're in.
There you go. Yeah.
And if that's too complicated for you, then good luck.
I just wanted to reiterate: you're not being charged. You're just filling out to get to that page on there with a little bit of information is what you're getting
we're
at Gamblu.com.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So and then let's take our break here. Then we'll get into UFC. Last weekend, fight night up there from Canada. Speaking,
Steve cheated. He cheated on us. He didn't watch. He was at
the greatest sports event in the history of man.
He was at General Hospital Visits Las Vegas.
Didn't watch a lick. I saw some highlights and I read about it, obviously getting ready for this and stuff. But it felt weird not watching it. I'm not going to lie to you as well. But hey, I was watching the most
but did you have fun? You didn't
organization.
miss
It
the
was a
UFC at all,
No,
right?
yeah.
Okay, well, good.
Well, that's actually the reason why I didn't watch it, Lou. I was like,
you were
oh crap,
enthralled.
UFC's off.
Yeah, all right.
Come on back, folks. Talking next with Uncle Lou.
Steve, I got a new phone. My wife switched things, and I went from iPhone 12 to 16. And I'll be honest with you, it's too touchy. I don't know how to work it. I can't mute it. I can't get
17, Lou. I have taken so many pictures.
You know where that's going to be on the 10th of never.
Of random stuff, like there's buttons everywhere. I'll look down at my pictures and I'll be like, what the heck's that a picture of? And it's some random. I'm just taking pictures while I'm walking down the road, just holding it. It's man, how old are we, Lou? That's all I'm going to say right now. How old are we?
Well, I'm throwing a shadow on you, so I'm just saying. And thank God I've got this. My associate at the real estate company, Christian's a young 25-year-old ASU kid, And I just give him the phone and tell him what I need to do. Hey, tell Siri to talk louder, and he does it. I can't figure the dadgum thing out.
Yeah, well, that's a big jump from 10 to 16 too. That's a
it's touchy, and I can't put it in my
pocket.
pocket. And there used to be an on-off. I just hit the switch, and mute would go on.
Yeah.
Now there's a push button, and then all kinds of stuff comes up.
Yeah, like do a little dance and move around and stuff like that. That's all right. We'll get through it. We'll get through it, old man. Don't worry about it.
That's what my son says. Meanwhile, we got fights this weekend.
Well, last week, let's just talk about last week a
Sure.
little bit because I did see some stuff up there. Of course, we had an MMA lab fighter in this fight last weekend as well, Kyler Phillips.
Yes.
How do you think he did last week in his fight? And I just lost it here on my screen.
Against Charles Jourdain, the Canadian. We talked about this fight, how close it would be. And I don't know if I mentioned points handicap or not, but that was the bet that the Gamblu
You said points are in play, I think is
yes,
what you
they
said.
were,
Yeah.
and they were in play because we took Phillips plus 3.5 because, number one, I'm a lab guy. Number two, I knew how prepared he was for this fight and this fighter because they've already fought this guy before, and the gym knew exactly how to prepare him. And he had been losing steam in the third round in previous fights. He didn't in this one. He just needs to – you don't put on thickness and strength in a camp or two. And it takes a couple years for a guy to get that weight training right. He's a kid that never needed it because he was so fast, flashy, and unorthodox. Well, now he's in with the top 1% of the world. He's got to strengthen up a little bit. And he showed great evolution in this fight, just didn't have it at the end. And, of course, it was a split decision that went to – or excuse me, it was a unanimous decision. It went 29-28 to the other guy, the Canadian. Well, we took – Phillips on the points, we're getting 3.5, makes us a winner. So sometimes, especially if I'm betting against an Englishman in London or if I'm betting against a Aussie in Perth, if I want to go against the guy and I know it could be a decision, I take those points because I could get that home cooking decision against me, and you got to prepare for it. So that was a good one.
Okay.
I got one question for you. When you say they prepare a guy for a certain fighter,
Yes.
and so they spar, I assume, against another fighter in their lab,
Absolutely.
and then do they have the sparring partner do what they think that fighter's going to do, or how do you prepare for different fighters?
Yeah, that's a great question, and they do it differently up there, and I'm always fascinated by what fighter they are training, who that fighter's fighting, because I know that, and then what they're doing with him in the cage in practice. But a lot of it is simple stuff that comes from football. For instance, they're going to make him fight a guy that's pretty well-rounded. He's a wrestler and a striker. So they put him in, and they put a wrestler in with him for the first 5 minutes, and they just wrestle the bejeebies out of him and get him so freaking tired in between rounds he's drinking. Then in the second round, they put in little Joe Slick, fast guy, because now he's gassed and he's all swole up, and now he's got to try and strike with the fast guy, and then he has to fight that style. And then in the next round, they'll put a different wrestler back in. So not only am I fighting different styles and looks each round based on what those coaches want me to look at, but I'm fighting fresh guys that are coming in for 5 minutes. And when you're on your 15th minute, man, you're just tripping on your tongue.
Right. Wow.
It's fascinating. And I learn a lot about my buddy, the coach, by what he does to these kids, because I tell him. And then there's kids that are fighting the athlete getting ready for a fight. I'm like, who the hell's that?
Right.
That person's unbelievable. So, and that's another reason you want to go.
So, so an MMA lab, a lot of play here on this show. I got to get up there one weekend and visit those guys on a Saturday, Lou. So,
well, you're invited to come with me, and
exactly.
you just sit there, and it's really a cool deal.
I'll just stare and be intimidated, to be honest with you.
No, it's like being at a college homecoming. All these young kids motivated around you that are trying to deal with self-betterment. It's really an awesome environment.
Absolutely.
You might want to give him the protocol, because I can see Steve going, "Hey, you're letting your left hand down. Come on, get your guard up."
Yeah, no, only Crouch gets to give the orders.
No, there I'll be so quiet. I'll be like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." These are world-class killers, Dale. That we're talking about here.
And you wouldn't believe. I mean, the culture is understated, usually shy, introverted, quiet. The last thing you'd think about fighters.
Yeah.
You go in there, they're fisting you. They couldn't be nicer and more respectful, especially because next to them, I'm 3 times their age, for Christ's sake. So,
right.
it's really great. It's
that's
a great environment.
Because, it was funny. Walking around Vegas, I did see a few guys that, lower tier, I'm going to say lower tier UFC guys there over the weekend. And it's like, you just don't know they're UFC guys. I just remember thinking there going, how many guys at a club or whatever, try to pick fights with these guys? They don't know that they're literally trying to pick a fight with this giant guy who's just a paid killer in life and everything.
Back when we grew up, Lou, you get in a fist fight, you'd be done with it, you'd go on your way. Now they got this jiu-jitsu and taking sweeping legs.
And that's if it's one-on-one. Normally the guy that's got the most
they look like
Skajunis has got 8 guys behind.
They, with regular clothes on, dare I say it, they look small and just innocuous.
Oh yeah, you don't want to underestimate your adversary.
No.
Uncle Lou deals with yes or no sir to anybody, just like it's a cop.
I didn't know the name of the guy. Somebody else told me, but I just remember being like, that guy? All right, if you say so.
No. And the smaller they are, they're so fast.
And then I walked so far away from him around the corner, so there wasn't an accidental. No, I'm just kidding with you. But it is funny to watch. But the other guy I want to talk about here, Gilbert Burns and Mike Mellett.
Yes.
Last Thursday when we talked, of course, guys, don't forget, he talks here before the weigh-ins. Weigh-ins happened Friday morning. Does the Bout Business podcast. So for some updates on what he thought. Burns was a plus 230 dog last Thursday. You said pay attention to the over-under here, minus 105 at the time, and then start to round 3. It's kind of what you said to look at there. Well, it started round 3, but that was the end of it. Yeah, just the end of it.
We split on this fight because I had Gilbert Burns plus 13.5, which means all he's got to do is go to a decision. Yeah. And unless the other kid wins all 5 rounds, which I didn't think he would do, nor would I think the judges would score it that way. All for naught. Mellett finishes him, and so that cooks the fight. The Burns bet plus the points. That's a loser. But the fight to start round 3 is a winner, tied into a future position on the DraftKings menu for a fight coming up either this week or next week. So I do that a lot to take a minus 200 guy with another minus 200 guy. And if the first guy wins, then when the fight shows up and there's a 2-1 favorite, we have him at plus 150. And so that's huge advantage to be able to manipulate yourself into. And we do it a lot. What we need the fighter to do a little bit more often is win in that position, because it's tough.
That's the hard part, man. You do everything you're supposed to do, and then they let you down, right?
Well, getting value on the number is one thing, and then your guy has to show up.
Now you were high on. I'm not gonna say high on Burns, but you like Burns in this, taking him with the points. You expect him to be in this fight.
Yes,
stuff like that. Knockout is what happened there in the third round. Does that change your opinion on Burns at all?
He was retired. So
afterwards, yeah.
So no, I wish he would have said, if I lose, I'll retire.
Well, that's what I was leading you towards here, because he obviously went into this with those thoughts in his mind.
Yeah, my handicap was not as much for Burns, although I thought he was fighting for his career, which he clearly was. But they were also partially fade against Mellett, and that sentiment still exists.
Okay, yeah, because I just when you find out afterwards, and you're just like, should have known that ahead of time.
Well, I spent hours listening to all that stuff. He didn't seem to give any indication of that.
Yeah, I guess it was a surprise.
But when you're 40, the handicapper should be aware. And I lamented the fact that there was that age difference, and I walked right into it. And last year I did a lot of that, and I haven't done that this year. This is the first time. Might be the last.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's different, and you guys are going to laugh at me, but at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar is out there, and he does his match, first one on Sunday. and everybody's geeked up about it. And then he surprisingly retired in the middle of the ring, takes his stuff off, puts it down, and stuff like that. And then I was sitting there, everybody's shocked by it. And I go, the guy's 48 years old. It was coming.
Lesnar's 48?
48 years old, yeah. I was like, it's coming. Yeah, and that remember you watching him and all this other stuff before wrestling?
He must have been 40. I don't know, against Mark.
It's been a long time.
I made a lot of money fading Brock Lesnar.
But it is weird. Like, nobody had an inkling he was going to do that. I threw the X up to say, hey, I'm going off script here to do it. So it's just one of those things where how they could keep that secret kind of surprises me, is what I'm getting at, with especially in the UFC side.
Brock Lesnar and Bullwinkle, both imaginary figures when it comes to training.
Brock Lesnar's the beast. Come on, man. Come on.
Let's get back to sports.
He got run out of the UFC, baby.
He did. Yeah, well, they try to run him out of the WWE.
Tail between his legs. Remember when your dad tried to kick you in the ass and you tucked it in as you were running away? That's how Lesnar left the UFC.
So this weekend, you got a Meta Apex fight over there in Las Vegas. They're returning their Apex fights generally mean. I got to find a better way to say it than guys you just don't know for the most part. There's some guys like Ryan Spann we know, at least I do here, and things to that effect. But generally it's fighters, on the unknown side of the UFC cards out there. Tell us about this fight, Lou.
You tiptoed around that appropriately,
okay.
Yes.
I phrased it right.
Well, I write an article each week that goes out on Tuesday, so I get a chance to AI it and figure out how can I say that nobody knows anybody on this card. Oh, well, we have an obscurely populated fight.
Oh, there you go. That's a big word, though. I don't use big words.
So really, on the undercard, there's some obscure fighters. However, there's 2 lab fighters on the undercard we should talk about.
Absolutely.
And after that, there's really the fights we want to talk about exist in the main card. It's an Apex fight card, so it's 25-foot cage, and we only have 370-pound fights or greater, meaning there's not huge men in this small cage, but 3 of the 11 or 12 fights, we lost a fight, I think. So I work all of that out. There's 5 fights where someone has to fly in from out of the country to Vegas and compete against somebody from the U.S. that doesn't have to fly in, or they're not from the U.S., but they live in Brazil, but they're training in Florida.
Yeah.
So I want to know who has to travel, because even though they're used to it and it's part of the game, flying does affect the cut, and you want to know not only who could have indications of flight effect on their weight cut, but if they do, they're fighting somebody that's a domestic fighter. Again, I'm just trying to search for some kind of advantage.
Tiredness or weight on the weight cut? Is it more tiredness so they can't cut it, or is it more you retain water and things like that, obviously at 30,000 feet? So is it more that as well?
It's the whole thing.
Okay.
The travel does both of those to you. And
well, you eat all those peanuts, on the Southwest flight.
And 7 times it doesn't affect you, and you make the cut fine. And the 8th time, something happens.
Right.
I think they're pretzels.
They don't even give peanuts away.
No,
they pick the stuff up off of the floor and put it in bags and give it out.
Lewis.
That's what they do.
So it's a small cage here coming up here. Well, tell us who the 2 MMA fighters are. We should pay attention to the prelims.
You mean we're talking about fights here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You guys shoot me on my WWE talk.
I don't have my glasses. Okay.
Well.
The good news is that 2 of the fights, actually there's 4. 2 of the 4 fights that are big boys involve lab guys. And on the undercard, let's start with Dumas against McVeigh. Now, this guy Dumas is one interesting character. He has a hard time getting a full camp in because he's either in the can or wearing an ankle brace all the time. This dude's got more trouble with the law than Al Capone did in the 30s. I'm just telling you. He's I don't know how he trains. I don't believe his IQ is great, fight IQ. Outside the cage, clearly it's suspect. So he's long, he's tall, but he's a street kid, and he's willing and he's game. He opens a plus 130 to this kid named McVeigh, comes out of the MMA lab, 0-2 in the UFC. McVeigh is 27, so he's a little younger, going to be a couple inches taller. And he went McVeigh from minus 150 at open. They're betting him a little. He's minus
minus 185.
He's minus 185 now. Here's a fight you really, gosh, I don't know if you want to get involved with it or not, but I can tell you, I know what they're saying to McVeigh, and I know we're going to get McVeigh's best, but I think that you can expect to get Dumas's best as well. The good news for McVeigh is he drives 3-4 hours up to Vegas, and Dumas comes in from Florida. And who knows if he comes in and brings trucks or how he comes, but he'll get there somehow. If the fight goes off, I gotta like McVeigh because I think he's going to be fight. He's 0-2. This is his third fight. He's going to be fighting for his life. So
he's got to win, basically, right?
Well, let me ask you before you go on. So, how many fights can you lose to start your career and still continue on? Is there like, hey, at 0-3, you're done,
usually,
or 0-4?
Kind of at 0-2, you're fighting for your career.
Okay.
A lot of times. Now, Phillips, who last week lost his third in a row, they came back after the fight and made it clear to him, hey, we're getting you right back in there. You're going to get another contract. Don't worry, you're good. Don't sweat anything. So that was, and they don't often do it they don't do that often. So they went out of their way to assure that kid not, he's a dad with a new child. So, but
it's also the way he fight. He might be losing, but he's putting a good fight on while he's out there.
And
there's a difference between losing
three top
and losing.
10 guys, bang, bang, bang. So, and he's good. So they see merit in him, which is good. And I want to give the UFC their feather in their cap when they deserve it, and they often do, because oftentimes when they deserve to get criticized, I'm not afraid.
Right.
Over under on this fight is 1.5, and it's minus 166 to the under right now for this fight. So, middleweight bout, power to knock out, or this isn't a submission fight, a wrestling fight.
These are two long guys got to stand there and see who can go on. That under is
That's
interesting.
A big number. That's a big number.
Yeah, I mean, I might look at fight starts round 2 and go yes on that if I didn't have to pay too much price. But I'm not great at round predictions. I want to match up the fighters, and I like that McVeigh is close to home from the lab and fighting for everything.
Yeah, so it just that's a big number on the under here, 1.5 for these middleweight guys. Who's the other MMA Lab guy we're talking about here?
The next one is Eric McConaughey, and it's in the next fight going up. Now you got a Rodolfo Vieira coming in from Brazil, big, huge, chiseled Brazilian who's got some power, but a great BJJ game. But flying in from Brazil to Vegas, has to travel against a kid who lives here in Phoenix. So a little advantage McConaughey there. McConaughey 35, Vieira 36. McConaughey way more striker, but because of the gym he works at, he's prepared for the attack he's going to get from Vieira, and so he's going to probably try and keep this fight standing. The issue with McConaughey standing is will he fire? If we can get the guy to be busy and motivated, he's really well prepared. So this should be a very interesting fight, one in which I don't know if I really want to have much to do with. Vieira is minus 240 or 250.
Minus 290 right now. The money's going his way, I'm assuming.
He opened 300,
okay,
so
it's opposite.
It's about there. But he's won some UFC fights. This is a huge fight for McConaughey, father of 5, needs to stay in the organization. It's a great way for him to earn money. So again, I want to say we're going to get McConaughey's best effort, but based on past results, I'm less willing to consider a wager on him, and more maybe to the McVeigh side if I were to pick one of those.
One of the two, yeah. Over under on this one's 2.5. It's minus 125 to the over, minus 105 to the under on this fight. So Vegas is like,
yeah, that means by the third round they're both going to be tuckered out and just leaning on each other, which may advantage McConaughey because that means they're standing up. He doesn't want to be on the ground with this killer.
Yeah, and Vieira obviously a more wrestler type.
Yeah,
here,
but but he's all chiseled up, and after a round and a half, 2 rounds, he gets all swole.
Yeah. So McConaughey.
That's always been my problem, Lou.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, after a round or 2, I get all swole.
You get all swole up.
That's what we say about Dale around these parts. Trust me, folks.
That's right.
So those are 2 pay attention to prelim fights that we
those
should
are
pay attention
those
to?
are the 2 that I would have you pay attention to. There's, I mean, other than that, they're undersized. There's a couple of female fights. That's when that'll be a pillow fight. You go get a sandwich and come back.
They're gonna go the 15 minutes and things to that effect. First fight on the main card, you got Ryan Spann, the one guy I've seen fight on this card.
Yep.
Against Bruschetta.
Buchecha.
Yeah, Buchecha. Sorry, folks.
So Spann has got UFC experience. He kind of is a front runner. We've talked about him. When things are going his way, he's on fire. But if there's a guy that's going to be there into the second round and he's smiling at Spann in between rounds coming out for the second, Spann doesn't like that kind of attitude too much. He can curl up. And so Spann also, this is a heavyweight fight.
Yep.
He fought a couple times before at heavyweight 255. He was a 205er. But what you take into each fight doesn't change. And he's working on that. But the way to beat Spann is to let him know you're going to be there all day, 24/7, 365. And who does he draw? But he draws this guy from Chile. Is it Chile he's from?
It says.
I can't read my
I apologize.
writing here.
Oh, you have that problem. It says Brazil on the UFC page.
Yeah, I think he's from Chile. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This dude's a world-class vice grip grappler. And so as soon as this fight starts, this dude going to get shot out of a cannon and go right to Spann, take him down, get on top, and start to smear his skin all over the canvas of the floor. This is going to be a very one-sided fight unless Spann can find a way to keep it up and try and hit him from outside and hurt him early. A lot of times, vice grip wrestlers or grapplers are so good at what they do, but they have to learn how to strike, which is not common to them. But more importantly, they have to learn how to evade strikes. And that does not come. And a lot of times wrestlers can be chinny. Yeah. Why? Because they've never taken one right on the eye tooth before. So Spann's going to try and knock this dude into next week. And Buchecha's just going to go put his head on Spann's chest and rub him out. And I think Buchecha minus 150.
Minus 148 right now.
That's a run, don't walk bet.
Hold on. So which one of these is my eye tooth?
This one here.
That one right there.
Right here in the front.
Well, the other interesting thing is on this.
I don't know the name of the other teeth.
That's the only one.
The incisor.
Over unders 1.5 in this fight, minus 175 to the under. So Vegas is thinking kind of like you are, at least. The gamblers are here. That Bruschetta is going to get in there and get that done.
Or that Spann's going to catch him running in and knock him cold.
The wrestlers, man, when they go in there, they just stick their head out there. And if you get one, to the temple or to the chin,
or
a knee, get knocked out right off the bat.
Yeah, Spann's 6'5" long, and he's got bad intentions. So and he's going to come out firing early. He knows that this guy wants to take him late, so he's thinking, let me see if I can't ring him up.
As Ryan Spann hasn't fought for a while, right?
I don't have that set up in front of me.
Because according to them, he hasn't fought since last July. I'm sorry, November of 2025.
That would be right. And he
so
weighed 255 in that fight.
Yeah. Because it's just the layoff there for a heavyweight bout and everything going into it.
And he's 34 years old fighting a 36-year-old. So Buchecha is his debut in the UFC. He's got no time to mess around. He can't lose.
Oh, that's his debut.
This is his debut. He got no time to screw around.
Debuters don't do well in terms of records in the UFC,
especially against an experienced guy. Yeah. But this matchup is run, don't walk.
Okay,
I said that once.
Yep, Montel Jackson here against Raoni Barcelos.
Barcelos, man, what an unbelievable fight this is going to be. This is a really well-equipped guy in Montel Jackson that's going to be 3 inches taller, 5 years younger, a lefty with reach advantage. So when it's standing up, he's going to want to keep on the outside and pepper Barcelos as Barcelos tries to get in. Barcelos is a Brazilian, a little shorter, and he's a little bit older as well. As I say, Barcelos 38, but his game ain't 38 years old. This dude is really a killer. This is going to be an unbelievable fight. Jackson has some wrestling, and Barcelos will probably want to get this to the ground to try and get a neck or an arm. And so I think if it goes to the ground, Barcelos will have advantage. But even standing, it can be on par because sometimes Montel Jackson isn't as busy on his feet as he needs to be. This is going to be a fight you want to watch. And how's it lined? Not Buchecha, but Montel Jackson minus 160.
Minus 180.
Minus 180. So, boy, that's a good price on Barcelos.
I
But he's
think
the aged guy, so that causes me to hesitate.
Is that the opening number by chance?
The opening number was Jackson minus 300.
Oh, so it's really come down then. Okay.
So there's been some Barcelos.
I was asking
play.
because usually the UFC pages that I use don't match up exactly with the DraftKings that we use for the updated odds, and it is dead on to it. So that's why I was wondering if it's moved at all there.
Yeah,
So.
UFC odds paid. That's the same as Aesop's Fables. Paid no attention to that.
Over under on this 2.5 minus 180 to the over in this fight as well. Don't miss it.
Oh, going to be a great fight.
One more quick question, then I'll be done. So you can throw all your fights.
Good.
What makes you say? Because they're all badasses.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What makes you say a guy's a killer? Because you say that you don't say that about everybody. You say that about, I would say, maybe 10% of the fighters.
He's the finisher, and it usually has a lot of things wrapped up into it.
Okay.
Usually, physically, they stand out, and equipment-wise, they stand out, meaning they're usually a wrestling base that can strike.
Right.
If it's two pure strikers, then that's a different assessment, but the wrestling base puts you over here.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a football coach, the first day, all the little kids are there. Who wrestles?
Yeah.
And those 4 or 5 kids, right? Those guys go over here.
Right.
That's your core of your team.
Right.
There's the guys that already have guts and brawn and sweat, and all they do is work all day. That's what you want, and that's your base.
Okay.
But other than that, it's if you finish.
Yeah. Okay.
Davy Grant and Martinelli here batting up. Ecuador and England fighters battling it out. Is Martinelli a late ad or something?
He's a late ad. He comes in late, but he's a finisher. He's got all the qualifications, but this is his debut fight. He comes in on short notice, getting ready to fight someone else. Who's he get? Davy Grant, Englishman that now is the striking coach for Eric Nixick up in Las Vegas at Extreme Couture. So he lives in Vegas. He moved his family there from England. He's been training there. He's the striking coach there. He's making some money. He gets a fight. He's 40, okay? But he's 40, but he don't fight like he's 40. And Kid Martinelli's 30. So here's Davy Grant with a wealth of UFC experience, been in with the best, fighting in his backyard with his family in tow, and he's getting ready to take on this killer Martinelli, who's coming in all kinds of finishing power, but stepping up into his debut into a UFC fight.
At 30, too.
Yeah, and you see that Davy Grant, last I see here, is like plus 105.
Plus one. No, Davy Grant's minus 135.
So now Davy Grant's gone into minus 135.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me because you'd almost have to favor that situation with him, despite the fact he's 40. I don't know enough about the other kid to make an assessment, and Grant's coming in off a loss. Yeah. So there's other spots here for me. I think this one may not be one. I want to learn about what Martinelli has.
The other thing is, you said he comes in with all this power. This over-under is 2.5, minus 180 to the over. Now, that could be just Grant, obviously, avoiding the power punches and stuff.
And durability.
And do that with the durability because of his experience on that. But with that power there, kind of surprised me on that.
Yeah, well, that lends me to – they think it could go to a decision. If it does, boy, I'd sure like to have the local Las
Vegas guy there.
And so, but if he's favored, he'll be the one – he'll be giving 3.5 points. So we'll have to see what that is. That'll be a good plus price.
Plus 125 right now.
If Grant minus 3.5 plus 125, that might be the way I would want to go because he wins he's going to have to win a decision or finish him, and he's going to have to win a good decision. 29-28 three ways, you're on the opposite end now.
Yeah,
you lose.
So that'll be a big one there for the local guy coming into Las Vegas. Rafi Garcia, Alexander Hernandez here. Mexico, United States fighters here coming into this one. Hernandez, the United States fighter, minus 130 coming into this fight.
Yeah, but he's from Texas, and he's Hispanic in background. So these are two Mexicans fighting from each side of the border. Hernandez has momentum and size. He's won his last 4 or 5. The guy's really ready and focused. A striker, struggles on the ground, and he's got Garcia, which is unusual for a Mexican fighter, Garcia has good sound striking. He's very well-rounded, and he's a solid wrestler. Usually the Mexican fighter is all about standing up and slugging, but Garcia's got great wrestling, the more well-rounded fighter, and a legitimate 155er, whereas Hernandez has fought at 45 before. So this is another fight that's going to be just like Jackson and Barcelos. This is a fight you don't want to miss. Really closely matched guys. It's going to be a great fight. Alex Hernandez opens minus 150. Now he's minus
130.
130. So they see it close as well.
And a decision. It's 238 to the over, minus 238 to the over.
Right.
As well.
So, and you got a Mexican and a Texan. So in Vegas, maybe you lean Mexico. I don't know, but they're both Mexican or perceived that way. This might be, and you're going to have to pay a price. What's Garcia plus 3.5, minus 180.
Minus 190.
Yeah, right. I mean, that may be my route because they're letting me know it's going to decision, and that protects me against the bad decision if it's a close fight, and I anticipate that's what it'll be.
Yeah, but that's minus 238 to the over. They're telling you it's going to decision.
So that's a parlay piece. I won't bet 190 to win one, but I'll bet minus 190 to another minus 190 and put one into 2 or 1 into 1.4, whatever that works out to be.
So they go on that. Then you got a co-main event here of a women's fighter here. Norma Dumont and Jocelyn Edwards here. Panama and Brazil fighters matching up.
What's the total?
I knew you were going to go. That's why I didn't say it.
That's good.
Over-under's 2.5, minus 500 to the over.
Next fight, please.
That's why I didn't say it at the beginning. I figured you had to ask some question. On that
Edwards
fight.
wants to stand. She's big, she's strong, but she's a front runner and isn't that tough. And Dumont's mean as a junkyard dog, wants to take her down. If she takes her down, she could finish her. Dumont submission might be a long bomb way to consider this, but I don't. I mean,
minus 245. Dumont's the favorite as well in this fight. So. Right. So that's where we're looking at there.
I'll be salting the rim on a nice cold margarita when those
that's your co-main event, Lou, right there. Then you got Sterling and Zalal here, United States Morocco fighters here for the main event.
Yeah, Zalal's a fighter that was in the UFC, and he came with all this hype, and it went to his head, and he was fast, athletic, and too busy reading his own headlines to fight, and he got kicked out and went and pulled his head out his rear end, came back, and he's 5-0 and since his return fighting guys who are each fight getting better. Now he steps in with a former champion at a lower weight class, but this Aljamain Sterling is one bad hombre at 145. Now, Zalal trained at the lab here for about 10 days during this camp, so I got a good look at him. I actually got to talk to him. He's one of the nicest, most vivacious, bubbly, effervescent young men you ever. Oh, Mr. Positive. He's just a great young kid, and he worked hard while he was here. If he submits Aljo, he'll tie. I think it's Charles Oliveira for the most submissions in UFC history. And like a young guy, he's chirping a little bit. But he's good, he's fast, he's strong, he's 3 inches taller. He's 7 years younger than Sterling, but Sterling has that wrestling. And these two have trained before together, and I've heard through sources that are obvious to everybody what's happened there. And despite what I've heard, I still think it's going to be hard for the young man, Zalal. If he can keep it standing and keep at the end and pitter-patter Sterling, he could probably win a decision on his athleticism. But A, I don't think he or his ego is going to let him do that. And B, Sterling's not going to let him do that. Again, for 145-pound wrestlers, the smaller cage, huge advantage to the wrestler. So there's less space for Zalal to be able to maneuver in. And so this is going to be a really competitive fight. You can tell by the total that it's 4.5 over.
Minus 180 to the over.
Yeah, probably go, easily. I could see a lot of people could easily see it go to a decision. I think Sterling, while I believe he's hard to beat, I also know that the UFC's not high on him. They don't like him for whatever reason. He and his gym get kind of stiff-armed by the UFC to an extent, and they keep making Sterling go into these tough situations, and the design of this fight is for Zalal to move on. So you should know that betting it, because I gave out Sterling earlier. He opened minus 200. Now you can get him plus
105.
Oh, I got him plus 130 earlier in the week. That number's
105 right now.
That number's coming more to reality. It should be Sterling minus 120 or close to a pick. So there's that.
Yeah, and then definitely, like I said, they're favoring the decision here in this 5-round fight, minus 180 to the over as well here in this fight. But so one wrestler, one striker here in this main event?
No. Zalal very well-rounded,
okay.
BJJ, and Aljo world-class wrestling, which we know is kryptonite to BJJ. But on the feet, Zalal's footwork, his movement, his length will be far too much for Aljo to navigate. Aljo has no intention of playing the jab cross game. He's going to be a blitzing safety.
Okay. So we have some contrast here in this one, what we're looking at.
And I think Zalal's pride's going to say, okay, let's see what you got on the ground, and they're going to go down and roll.
What kind of Morocco, where does he train out of, Zalal? If Morocco fighter.
He's been training at Elevation in Colorado, but like I say, he came to MMA Lab. He's been to Florida. These kids with this kind of talent, well, it's because he wants to learn from everybody and soak it all in. There's that kind of move, which is good. And then the fighter that moves, they have 3 losses, then they move. And then they have 2 losses, and they move again.
Yeah,
there's the red flag.
That's the fighter. That's the fighter.
This kid here that's taken 2 or 3 camps in a 6-month period for one fight. He's trying to learn and see what's out there.
So let me tell you. So if you're a fighter like this kid and you want to go to a few different camps, you just make a phone call, kind of like a PGA pro saying, "Hey, I want to play Estancia or whatever."
Hey, Coach Crouch, this is Yusuf Zalal, and I'd love to come down and see what's going on at the lab. Could I come down and work out with you guys for a week, 10 days? Right. Absolutely. No problem. They got parameters that they have to. Basically, the only rules at the lab are you're not there to kill the other guy in practice. We're a team, and it's really not even a team. It's a family. Right. And so, and that's what I told Zalal. I said, hey, you hang around here any amount of time, you're going to find out. This ain't a team, bud. This is a family. And, he big smile. And then that's all I say, and then I walk away. Because I really don't want to engage these kids. They don't need to know why I'm there and what I'm doing.
Yeah. They're going to be like, is that guy
better? Hey, can I fight that guy?
And early on when I would go to the lab, when I would go in and they didn't know who I was, I'd be like, hey, I'm looking for a fight. Does anybody know where I can find a fight around here? And this little 135-pound guy's looking at, he's thinking to himself, look at this old man. And then I look over to the left, there's 18 guys standing in line want to go.
Yeah, that's the problem. When they all line up, Lou, that's not a good sign. That's the problem.
That's right.
Everybody raises their hands. You don't want to see that on that
We'll
side.
take them.
So we got NHL playoffs happening. You're obviously watching that. Big games on the plate tonight. UFC on Saturday. Weigh-ins tomorrow morning being a Vegas fight. Main card, by the way, 5 p.m. on Saturday for the Apex for UFC. Paramount, of course, as we go into this season as well. Lou, I appreciate you coming in as always. Everything else good?
Everything's great, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a great week.
I've told Steve this before, but when you say people are lining up, my rookie coach in Buffalo said, I don't need to tell you how you're doing. Because when we're doing one-on-one pass protection,
just look at the line.
If the defensive line coach has to call somebody to go against you, you're doing pretty good.
You're doing great.
If there's 5 dudes lined up across from you wanting to go, you're struggling.
That's right.
By the way, next week, Perth, Australia, here, UFC Fight Night, and then we get another numbered card the week after that as well from Newark, beautiful Newark, New Jersey, 328. And that'll be Kaimev and Strickland here in that one here. So we got a couple big weeks coming up in UFC fighting as well. We'll talk about that over the next couple of weeks. Lou, see you next Thursday. For everybody else, enjoy your hockey. Enjoy your knowledge here on the UFC you learned today as well. And don't forget about the Bout Business podcast with Uncle Lou tomorrow as well after the weigh-in. So fairly mid-morning or so it'll be up for you. Dale, we'll see you tonight at the draft party. And we'll talk some NFL draft with Bruce Cooper and maybe a special guest. We'll fill you in more on that later, but mostly Me, Bruce Cooper, and Dale will be here. Lou, you're more than welcome to come and talk NFL draft tonight. We know you love that.
Well, I will wait and see how it goes.
We'll see y'all next time.
Thank
Have
you.
a great afternoon, everybody.